Hello, I am back to being polyamorous again. Yes, I am. I am now dating two people. The first partner, the one that I was already dating, has consented to this. We have agreed to be polyamorous in the past, and then for a while I said that I wanted to be monogamous, and they said that's okay, but if you change your mind, that's also okay. And then I did, and this was something that we talked about ahead of time. This is consented upon by everyone involved. It's not just like cheating. It's like something that everybody knows about and is okay with. I've been indecisive at various points, thinking that I want to be monogamous, but at this point I'm back to being poly, and I am dating two people. I really don't want to date more than two people because I think what I have figured out from my experiences with dating is that one, online dating really does suck, but that is what I'm doing right now. I'm very close to these people. We do video chats. I've seen their faces. I know them. Like it's not just anonymous people behind like generic profile pics. These are people that I've spoken to like face to face on video chat, and one of them I've seen in real life. So, in other words, I know these people very well. It's my partner Anthony and my partner Travis. These are people I've talked about before, so that's who I'm dating now, and I am enjoying it. But what I was gonna say is dating more than two people at once for me is pretty difficult. I think like um as much as I can love multiple people at once, I don't know if I'm good at maintaining quality relationships with more than two, I guess. Like I think that I don't have um that level of like attentiveness, like splitting my time, I guess, is like it's a lot. It's a toll. So like, not I hate to say it like that, because if any of my partners from the past were to hear this, they might be like, damn, it's really like that. And it's not like I, you know what I mean. You can love people truly, but it's just a matter of like, can you really manage it? Because anyone that you're in a relationship with deserves your time and your attention and your affection, and if you are to provide that, you're expected to, like, hold up your end of the bargain just as they would. And if you're dating a lot of people at once, you gotta put in the same work that you would have for just a single relationship, but with multiple people. And that's not so easy. So, that's what I've learned. I mean, that's predictable, but I guess it's just like I've really figured out like a good balance for me. So my partners consent to the polyamorous relationship. They're not dating each other. They're not interested in each other, but they have met and they are like cool with each other. They're just not really close, but they both they're okay with me dating them. So that's our dynamic, I guess. It would be cool. It was I would think it was really cool if we were all like, if it was like a love triangle where we were all dating each other. But it's like that's not really necessary for me to be happy in the scenario, and that's not really necessary for them to be happy. So, I'm not gonna like force a dynamic that isn't naturally occurring. That would be like weird. That would be fucking weird. But yeah, like I'm imagining, oh my god, like what it would be like to just make people like couple put people together who don't want to. That would be fucking strange. But anyway, um, yeah. Uh, so I mean, some people might not understand the desire to be polyamorous, and I don't know. I tried being monogamous, and it wasn't awful. I even tried being single. That was pretty bad. I felt pretty low when I was single. I was like, damn, I really miss back when I could say I had a partner, or I had a boyfriend, or I had a girlfriend. Oh, and and like I miss having that aspect present in my life, being able to talk to someone, being able to share my feelings and like bond in a romantic way. It wasn't present, and I missed that. I did. I didn't think I would. I thought maybe I could hack it and I could just make it on my own. And I mean, I did. I didn't die. I'm able to survive, but that's what it felt like, just surviving, not really living, not really thriving the way I wanted to. So anyway, I guess it's like when it comes to dating, I suppose there is that kind of dynamic of moderation. You do have to find what works for you, what's your perfect kind of balance. Some people might find that they're aromantic or they're asexual, and so they're they have very specific preferences for dating. Some people might find that polyamory works for them. And you can even be on the ace spectrum and also poly, by the way. That's like a thing. So, that's valid and that's real. And so I'm just saying, like, there's many different ways to go about relationships. You may find that, you think you like this gender and then you realize, oh, I actually have preference for that gender. For some people it's like that. I consider myself bi or pan. I would say pansexual, bisexual. Both of those labels work for me because bisexual doesn't just mean men and women. It means like your own. It means you're attracted to your own gender and other genders. So, in other words, it includes non binary people. And so that's why I often use the label bisexual, because I think it still works for me, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, I'm just saying it's great to, learn about what works for you. And I suppose I am on that journey in my life. So, yes, I am back to being poly, and that's fun. I've always found it fun, and I've always enjoyed it. I mean, not always, like I said. Like I said, I flew too close to the sun in the past, and I think at one point I dated 5 people at once. That was when it was at its highest. And while that was very lovely in many ways, and I felt happy to be very full, like I felt loved. I did feel very loved when I had that many people at once who loved me so much. That was very joyous, but I did also feel guilty because sometimes I wouldn't talk to like sometimes people wouldn't get the attention that I know that they deserved, but I just had things going on in my life, or one of them would be going through something specific and so they would need the most attention, but then the others, if they aren't going through a crisis, then it's like I have to prioritize the one who is. And I'm just giving examples here. Like when you're in a relationship, sometimes someone has like something painful happen to them and you want to be emotionally comforting and attentive. So, that's just a reality of life. And if you're dating multiple people, then it's like you would want the person who's going through something to get the most attention in that moment, but at the same time, it's hard to do that when other people, they also love you and they also want attention because they deserve it because you're in a relationship with them. So that's that's just an example of what it can be like when you're poly. It's not easy if you're not ready for the dynamics that you set up for yourself. And that's my advice I would give to anyone who wants to try polyamory. You got to figure out what you can manage. So at this point I don't think I want to date more than 2 people, and I don't want to date people that are different from the ones I'm already with. I love Anthony and I love Travis, and I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now. So yeah, and the reason why I went back to dating Travis is because he told me that he loves me, and he um was very affectionate, and I was like, maybe I should consider this, trying this again, and I'm glad that I did. I am, and Anthony's okay with it. We talked about it, and so everyone's on board with it. Um, have a nice day. That's all I had to talk about. That's just, it's a nice little thing going on in my life. I'm enjoying kind of going back to what makes me happy and everything. I'm certainly having fun.